breaking the impossible. Imagine being a child and on Christmas Eve discovering that presents can be portals to fantastic and dangerous worlds. What if, amidst toys and sweets, a strange, sad-eyed Nutcracker became your most loyal ally in a magical war against monstrous rats? It was Christmas Eve. At little Marie's house, the anticipation was magical. Uncle Drosselmeyer, the eccentric inventor, was once again promising surprises for the siblings. In the center of the room, under the glow of the candles, were the gifts: tin soldiers, miniature castles, and in the background, almost forgotten, a strange Nutcracker, thin and with a melancholy smile. Marie was immediately charmed. Fritz, the impulsive brother, tried to crack open a giant nut and broke the doll's jaw. Marie, full of empathy, cared for the gift as if it were alive. In this opening, Hoffmann introduces us not only to a fantastic childhood universe, but also to the trauma of the unexpected and the difference between courage and selfishness. Marie embodies a sensitive gaze towards the rejected, compassion for the different. The Godfather's gift, seemingly insignificant, reveals itself to be the core of the protagonist's imagination and the symbol of acceptance of the other. But nothing prepares Marie for what happens when, at midnight, the toys come to life and rats start invading her room. If you had to choose one toy to protect your night from nightmares, which one would it be? Comment now. Continue reading to discover the beginning of the strangest battle ever fought. Toys versus rats. Marie versus her own fears. The Dark Christmas and the Cursed Gift. The first seconds on a Christmas night where the darkness seems densest, where shadows grow longer under the candlelight, and each creak of wood is an ancient whisper. A girl with attentive eyes notices something that no one else sees. Have you ever had that feeling that something magical or monstrous lurks just beyond the reach of reason? Imagine hearing in the background the unsettling ticking of a clock, mingling with the crackling of the fire in the fireplace. Imagine on the threshold of sleep and childlike longing, the feeling that your own toys are waiting. For what? Suddenly, an unexpected, strange gift, almost forgotten among the golden wonders of Christmas, a Nutcracker with a melancholy gaze, a crooked smile, and a disproportionately thin body. Would you touch this toy? Or would you feel a chill? Today, you'll delve into a much darker, more psychological version of what we know as the Nutcracker. Welcome to the universe of ETA. Hoffmann, where gifts are portals and fear is part of the enchantment. 8-year-old Marie Stahlbaum felt a different kind of anxiety than the other children that evening. Her siblings Fritz and Louise played around the house, but Marie watched. The preparations were evident in every detail: the scent of the pine tree, the dancing lights, the sweets carefully arranged on the richly decorated tables. Godfather Drosselmeyer was always late, with an enigmatic air, bells in his hat and shiny gloves. His inventions, sometimes frightening, sometimes ingenious, were both feared and idolized. Fritz whispered that his godfather was a sorcerer, capable of bringing even the most mundane toys to life. Louise, a dreamer, said that Drosselmeyer knew all dreams, good and bad, and knew how to weave fear with hope. When the grand door finally opened, it revealed the traditional Christmas tree, overflowing with rare sweets and delicate toys. Tin soldiers gleamed row by row, little ballerinas twirled inside music boxes, tiny carriages covered in gold dust carried imaginary passengers to infinity. But it was in the dim light, among ribbons and torn papers, that Marie found the gift that would change her life. A strange Nutcracker, robust but clumsy, wearing an old uniform and sporting a gently sad smile. Fritz energetically tried to crack open one of the largest walnuts, and the result was immediate. A dry snap, a small crack in the doll's jaw. Marie, indignant, protected the gift. "You broke it," she exclaimed, hugging the Nutcracker. "It's hurt now because of your impulsiveness." Caring for the toy became a nightly ritual. While her siblings slept, Marie would wrap the Nutcracker's jaw with silk scarves and tell it secrets about loneliness, the desire to be special, and the fear of the rats that scurried beneath the floorboards. The first night with the Nutcracker was uneasy. Cold winds blew outside. At midnight, Marie awoke from a nap, convinced she heard clinking armor and muffled giggles. She peeked out from under the covers, and her room already looked different, illuminated by a bluish, otherworldly light. The toys were upright. Soldiers lined up in rows, ballerinas standing erect, microscopic fairies flying around the cardboard castle. Suddenly, tacks clinked on the floor like hurried footsteps, and out emerged from under the dresser the largest horde of rats ever seen. The most deformed ones sported tiny crowns, and on each of the 7 heads, eyes gleamed with desire and cruelty. Marie shuddered. The Mouse King had arrived. His army marched wildly, gnawing on sweets, attacking soldiers, tilting the battle toward the side of the monsters. Marie sought out the Nutcracker, and he, even with his broken jaw, led the fearless toys. "Fear not, brave girl," he seemed to say with his gaze. The confrontation intensified. Toys fell. Fritz, asleep, noticed nothing. The rats pushed and surrounded Marie. The Mouse King growled in a hissing voice, "Give me your best gift or all will be lost." So what now? Would you entrust everything to a broken toy? What would you do if faced with a 7-headed monster? Comment. What's your biggest nighttime fear? Rats, dolls, or the unknown? Marie, summoning courage she had never felt before, threw her shoe at the Mouse King. The world spun, and in the blink of an eye she fell unconscious, but with the Nutcracker firmly tucked into her chest. In this first segment, the script delves into Hoffmann's fantasy world with an atmosphere of suspense and psychological terror, setting the stage for the true inner drama, Marie versus the adult world, which doesn't perceive the real danger. The Nutcracker as a symbol of the stranger, the excluded but also of resilience. The Mouse King, a personification of the traumas that invade the child's mind on the boundary between dream and wakefulness. Each object, each character, carries a double meaning. The battles belong to the world of imagination, but also to the formation of courage and compassion. When Marie awakens injured, all is calm again, but the Nutcracker still needs her help, and the challenges are only beginning. The curse revealed, the test of courage, a pact on the threshold of fear. You wake up in your own room, but something has changed. The silence isn't the same. The darkness seems to seep beneath the floorboards. What if you discovered that only your courage can save the one who brought you hope, even if it's just a broken toy? Marie shudders as she opens her eyes. Her mother is worried. She finds her daughter unconscious, still clutching the Nutcracker, pale, with bloodstains on her injured finger. But for Marie, the real world seems faded. What he saw and felt in the battle echoes in his mind like a truth denied by adults. While resting alone, she feels drawn to the presence of the Nutcracker, as if he were silently calling for her attention. The following night, Marie's dreams take her to a golden hall, where scenes of battle come to life again. Shattered lead soldiers, rats dancing in circles, the Nutcracker struggling to stay upright. The doll's face contorts in pain, and then gains expression. Its eyes meet Marie's. "I need you." The voice emerges in her own thoughts, soft, laden with urgency. The scene dissolves, and an eccentric-looking old watchmaker reappears dressed in deep blue. It's Uncle Drosselmeyer. He smiles, but his eyes gleam with mystery. "You deserve to know the truth." The story of the curse. Drosselmeyer narrates as if conjuring vivid images, The origin of the Nutcracker's curse. Once upon a time, there was the kingdom of Perlipat, where a precious princess was cursed by the Queen of Rats, Madame Mouserynx. The king's crime? Hunting the clan of mice from the palace. To save the princess, a prophecy was born. Only someone capable of cracking the Crackatuck nut and delivering it to the princess, without looking back after the deed, would undo the spell. The hero? A brave young man, but after completing his mission, he stumbles upon the Rat Queen and is punished, forever transformed into a nutcracker. Madame Mouserynx disappears, but the curse can only be fully broken if someone with a pure heart sees the beauty and value behind the monstrous appearance. Drosselmeyer looks at Marie. And there you are, a girl who talks to toys, who sees the suffering of those whom no one notices, nightmares and tension. At this point, Marie faces new attacks from the Mouse King in her dreams, now more menacing. In the nightmare, the Mouse King appears in her bed, hissing, "Give me your sweets, your toys. Only then will I let the Nutcracker live." Marie hesitates. She wants to give in. She wants to protect what she loves. But she knows that behind the threat lies an endless cycle of blackmail. She gives away her sweets. She gives away her little bit of wool, her special drum. With each concession, she feels more exhausted. But she realizes that the Mouse King's cruelty only grows. This section deepens the symbolism of the pacts. Marie must decide between giving in to fear or standing up for what truly matters, even when no one believes in her. The story of the curse reveals the cycle of trauma, the scars of the past that only courage and genuine empathy can overcome. The Mouse King is the inner voice of fear, of persistent trauma. No matter how much you give into it, the terror grows. Drosselmeyer represents the guide of the unconscious, offering clues and revealing the path for those who dare to daydream. At the climax of the scene, Marie hears the Nutcracker's silent plea. "I need something to fight for," he whispers in his dream. "Would you entrust your hope to a broken toy? What have you sacrificed for someone you love even when you were misunderstood?" Comment and share. Does overcoming fear mean giving in or truly resisting? The final battle and the transformative choice, on the edge between dream and reality. The night is denser than ever. Fear has become tangible, almost visible. It dances along the walls, drips onto the floor, appears in the eyes of the toys, and invades Marie's most secret thoughts. What if, when facing your greatest fear, you discovered that only the courage to accept the impossible can change everything and save those you love? Marie realizes there is no choice left. Sweets, toys, and little gifts are no longer enough. The Mouse King wants everything. He wants the Nutcracker itself destroyed. And it is amidst this pressure that Marie, driven by an inner strength, makes a silent pact. She will seek salvation. In the next dream, the girl finds the Nutcracker even paler, almost defeated, a fallen hero. "I need a sword," he pleads, his lips still but his eyes blazing. Marie knows where to find one. On Fritz's toy shelf, among toy soldiers and generals. During the day, she discreetly sets aside the smallest and sharpest one. At night, in a secret ritual, he leaves the sword beside the Nutcracker before going to sleep. It is in the hope that he, or fate itself, might make use of it in the next battle. Midnight. The clock strikes. The rats emerge in even greater numbers. The Mouse King advances. 7 screaming heads, a pedestal of horror. Marie suppresses her fear and watches. Toy soldiers march, led by a renewed Nutcracker, now wielding a sword, and the war begins. Rats against toys, hope against terror. For a moment, all seems lost. The Nutcracker is cornered, the Mouse King triumphant. So Marie prays softly, asks for courage, closes her eyes, and in her thoughts cries out for help. The Nutcracker leaps, sword in hand, and with an improbable blow, strikes the Mouse King in the center of his head. The enemy hisses, spins, dissolves into smoke, and finally disappears. The enchanted kingdom and the final choice. Drosselmeyer reappears. With an almost magical touch, he reveals to Marie the portal to the kingdom of sweets and wonders, where the Nutcracker now walks as a prince. Marie, still in disbelief, sees dreamlike landscapes, sugar castles, caramel gardens, rivers of golden wine. Everything seems perfect, but there's one last choice. The Nutcracker in human form approaches. Will you accept me, despite everything? Will you accept the stranger, the imperfect one, the one who suffered for love and courage? Marie touches the prince's hand. When you say yes, the kingdom of dreams blossoms in light. In the real world, she awakens stronger, more mature. She looks at the old Nutcracker and will never see him merely as a toy again. The family notices the change. Marie's gaze bears the mark of maturity, of victory against the terror of the unknown. This section celebrates overcoming trauma. Marie learns that courage is not the absence of fear, but action in the face of it. The Nutcracker is its own reflection. That which seemed broken, strange, impossible is a source of strength and redemption. The Mouse King symbolizes persistent fears and internal blackmail, only broken when confronted head-on, with both strength and affection. What would you do if you discovered that every fear has a way to be overcome? Have you ever helped someone or something transform simply through the power of acceptance? Comment. Which character from your childhood taught you about courage? Your courage transforms the world. Imagine waking up after the strangest battle of your life and realizing that, although no one truly understands what happened, something profound has changed forever within you. What remains, besides the silence, is the certainty. Only those who confront their own fear are reborn, capable of loving the impossible. Marie wakes up in her room surrounded by her family. The old Nutcracker remains in her lap, now without cracks, displaying a special shine, as if thanking her for everything. The mother strokes her hair. The father smiles with pride. Fritz, less arrogant, apologizes for his broken jaw, acknowledging his sister's heroic role. In the kitchen, Godfather Drosselmeyer watches from a distance, a knowing look, a smile of someone who keeps secrets and believes in the power of dreams. Marie no longer speaks of rats, battles, or the enchanted kingdom, but the real world has taken on a different hue. Small sorrows have become attainable challenges, and every strangely beloved object carries the potential for redemption. Deep in the girl's eyes shines the legacy of maturity, courage, compassion, and the certainty that not every monster deserves condemnation. The kingdom of sweets now resides in the minds and hearts of those who believe, and all it takes is closing your eyes to journey once more through caramel gardens or to slay invisible dragons. Fear only disappears when we accept facing it, not when we run away or eternally give in to blackmail. Compassion for that which is rejected, a toy, a person, a pain, is the key to individual redemption. Fantasy and imagination are not just escapes. They are profound tools for overcoming challenges, maturing, and connecting with one's own destiny. What monster did you defeat as a child? What toy, story, or dream taught you to be stronger? Share this story. Tell us in the comments how your imagination saved you, and send it to someone who needs to believe in the power of dreams. And remember, every dark night can hide magical worlds, just waiting for the courage of someone willing to believe. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe, share, and suggest in the comments which classic tale deserves a psychological analysis, a profound script about courage, maturity, and imagination.